the few Asian countries that has shown economic progress year after year. Many analysts attribute it to India's youthful population. By 2020, in fact, India will be the youngest country, with more than half the population below the age of 25. But how are we taking care of this growing young demographic when we're home to the largest number of hungry people in the world? 20% of our children suffer from acute undernutrition. India accounts for 3 out of every 10 stunted children in the world. Malnutrition jeopardizes health and growth, which in turn slows down national progress and development. Hello and welcome. I'm Manvi Dhillon and you're watching DuPont Presents The Power of Shunya, Quest for Zero. On today's episode, we're going to introduce you to companies and organizations that are committed to fighting an invisible problem, that of nutrition, to bring malnutrition down to Shunya. He is the father of the Green Revolution that was triggered in response to the Bengal famine of 1943. He understands truly the relationship between agriculture, health and nutrition. Professor M.S. Swaminathan, thank you very much for joining us on The Power of Shunya, Quest for Zero.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to take part.
India, today, a population in excess of 1.2 billion people. Yet, hunger persists as an issue. Why?
Wherever there is very high proportion of people depend upon agriculture, then you find the malnutrition, hunger somewhat more ironical, but the fact remains largely because agriculture is one of the riskiest professions in the world. You have rain, you've got happiness, you have drought, you feel sad. So it's a historical tradition which we could have reversed after independence. What we are now trying to do, in fact, the National Food Security Bill of 2013 is an attempt to make food as a right, not as a patronage. So it can be done only if you've got enough backup of food. And fortunately, we have now, thanks to our farmers. So we are in a state of transition from a land of some people call economists, Republic of Hunger, to a republic of fairly well-fed people who have an opportunity for a productive and healthy life.
Today, the World Bank estimates that malnutrition among Indian children is among the highest in the world. Why do we have that problem on such a large scale?
This is because we have never had a holistic attack on hunger. Hunger has 3 dimensions. One is inadequate consumption of food, what we call calorie deprivation, or inadequate calories. Second is protein hunger. Your diet does not have enough protein, particularly for vegetarians, unless there are enough pulses or milk or egg, whatever you want, protein hunger. The third is hidden hunger, micronutrient malnutrition, zinc, iron, iodine, vitamin A, vitamin B12 and so on. And then the other part of nutrition is non-food factors like drinking water, contaminated water, whatever, we say, a young child becomes a leaky pot.
What to your mind then is the path towards real food and nutrition security for our people?
First of all, starting with research, agriculture scientists should become more aware that their work is not just calories alone but nutrition. How do you mainstream nutrition in agriculture research? What we call leveraging agriculture for nutrition. That's one important point which will have to bring about a paradigm shift in all our agriculture universities and so on. Secondly, we should also try to see how far we are able to enrich the common diet with additional, what we call biofortification. And now through breeding, for example, a company in Maharashtra has released a variety of bajra, very rich in iron, very rich, provides you the iron content.
India is home to 40% of the world's undernourished children. Over 70% of children under the age of 3 in India are iron deficient. Micronutrient deficiency, also called hidden hunger, has severe development and survival consequences. What you see all around me is the pearl millet crop. What's more, it's been biofortified with iron. It can go a really long way in combating widespread iron deficiency in India. Consider this. When made into a simple flat bread, this humble crop has the ability to meet 30% of the average daily iron needs of an adult woman. See for yourself.
After toiling in the fields, Rajendra Kamte returns home to enjoy a wholesome lunch of bhakri and vegetables. Bhakri, made from Dhanashakti flour, is the main source of iron for many farmers and their families living in the outskirts of Pune.
बुद्धिमत्ता सुद्धा वाढते बाजरीमुळं आणि उंची आमच्या छोकरीची माझ्यापेक्षा बारीक होता पण आता ते 2 वर्षात ते भरपूरच माझ्यापेक्षा उंच झालं.
Dhanashakti is an improved version of pearl millet variety developed by the global leader of biofortified crops, Harvest Plus. By collaborating with scientific institutes like ICRISAT in India, Harvest Plus aims to end hidden hunger caused by iron deficiencies.
Let's start at the very beginning. There is the CGIAR, which is the Consultative Group on International Agricultural Research. There is ICRISAT, which is the International Crop Research Institute for the Semi-Arid Tropics. And there is Harvest Plus. How do the three come together?
Well, the CG is a group of agricultural institutes. ICRISAT is one of those institutes. And Harvest Plus is a program that's working in several of the institutes to develop these crops.
How did you come up with this global strategy to collaborate with local agricultural research institutions with nutrition as the focal point?
People eat our varieties, our crops 3 times a day, but we never paid attention to the nutrition content. So that's what Harvest Plus is doing. It's getting the breeders to put the minerals and the vitamins in the crops. And now when people eat them, they'll be eating more minerals and vitamins 3 times a day.
The crop of pearl millet is being conventionally bred by the seed breeders at ICRISAT, thus developing the enhanced version that not only yields more, but also contains more iron.
What is the process of biofortification for a non-scientific person, for a lay person?
Biofortification is that you put the micronutrients through plant breeding in the edible parts of the plants.
How does biofortification actually work? What do you do, where do you do it, and what is the impact?
What we do that for biofortification we identify the lines which have got a high iron, and we identify the lines which have got high grain yield and other good agronomic traits. So first we have to go and we have to do this, and then in the morning time when you come, when there is dew, you can see these things through the parchment paper bags as white feathery structure.
Okay.
That means that it is ready for crossing.
Okay.
So let us say that this is it and we recognize that it is ready for crossing. This is one line. From the high iron line we collect the pollen grain like this. This is also done in the morning. When the pollen is collected like that, you can see the yellow powdery material. We take that thing, consider that the pollen was collected, bulk pollen was collected actually, right, from that line, and then we come in the morning, we take this out and we dust that actually. We dust that. I am demonstrating, we dust that. Now you see what was whitish, now it is yellowish actually. That means that line now has been crossed with this line. Now then we grow it actually. When we grow it, a low iron high yielding line has been crossed with a high iron line. Now that seed, when it is sown and the crop is grown, when you take the grain from there, they should have high iron.
And they do have high
And
iron.
they do have high iron.
This collaborative project is aiming to tackle malnutrition through biofortification in a quest for zero hidden hunger, planting the seeds of change to better lives, one seed at a time.
This show, as you know, is called The Power of Shunya, Quest for Zero. How can you relate the work that you're doing on biofortification, on reducing nutrient deficiencies with the concept of Shunya?
I would not say that biofortification alone will be able to achieve that goal, but biofortification can make a huge contribution towards achieving that goal. That is number one, at the national level, I am saying. But at the community level, small community level, or the individual level, an individual going to Shunya for micronutrient, biofortification can achieve that actually.
I think if we get wide adoption of our crops, we can really increase iron intakes and zinc intakes and go a long way toward reducing hidden hunger in India. Now, people's incomes, the ultimate solution is for people's incomes to go up so that they can afford high quality diet. But biofortification is something that can really help along the way to people achieving those kinds of diets.
On the other side of the break, we bring you a company aiming to fill gaps in our nutrition with the most important meal of the day, breakfast.